The planet will sort it out, have no doubt. Might not be in our generation, but I fear for the generation that is to come.
Thank you. My question has to do with the feminine. We have a mosaic pavement here. We've talked a lot about Masonic Rosicrucianism and other orders. Freemasonry, or mainstream Freemasonry, I should put in a quote there, because there is co-masonry, and the Rosicrucian order, which I'm a part of, are both masculine. So I'd like to hear from the Masonic Rosicrucians, I guess, how they see the feminine being incorporated into it, and from the other representatives from other orders, perhaps how women and the feminine are incorporated into their organizations and their belief systems. Thank you.
Okay. If there happen to be any women here who actually are a member, okay. That's okay.
Well, I can speak on behalf of the Golden Dawn. The Golden Dawn has always accepted both men and women on an equal basis, and so within the Golden Dawn tradition, there is really no paradox there. And yesterday we were attending a conference by Sandra Tabatha-Cicero, and on the feminine principle within the Golden Dawn tradition, which was quite interesting. She really brought out how much feminine feminine symbolism there is within the Golden Dawn tradition. So again, within the Golden Dawn, that's not so much a problem. We have both fratres and sorores, men and women, who practice, and over time, my experience has been that in ritual work and all work dealing with even like meditative processes, even astral traveling and things similar, a lot of the women are actually much more competent than the men naturally. So it doesn't mean that as time goes, the men don't actually develop that kind of thing, but it seems more natural to them. So in that sense, the woman magician is, I think, already one step ahead while starting on the path. But then again, there are some other aspects of the system that don't just deal with the ceremonial. So it really balances itself out. But within the Golden Dawn, we have both, and it really works well hand in hand. And the women bring something to the system that the men can't bring, and it's vice versa. So really, I think that's what makes for the Golden Dawn to be very rich and very vast in its ability to bring out all aspects of the self and all aspects of the work involved.
Okay, on the question.
Regarding women and working with women in occult orders, I belong to an order that is headed by a woman that came out of an order that John was kind enough to say is a daughter. Our mother organization was headed by a woman that came out of the Golden Dawn, and a woman that, amongst other things, I don't think I'm giving a lot of secrets away, actually worked in a form of masonry, co-masonry. In the lodge that I work with, we're fortunate to have a pretty good gender balance. We're able to observe the polarities when we're working, but it hasn't always been so. And if you're going to work in any order, and I think from my limited experience, I can say this for Masonry, if you're going to work in as a, how should I put this, in one gender in magic, then you learn to split yourself in half and work from both sides of yourself, so that a woman can in fact work as a man and a woman by working from projecting herself into the other half of a being, and similarly a man can do the same thing working from your animus or your anima, as the case may be. And I'm pretty sure that this is a lot of the balance of the work that happens in Masonry. As you pointed out, we have the tree of life in the lodge. It's not there by accident, and the tree of life is very much based on the polarity, and that's not necessarily based on gender, which is an issue we have to deal with. And I'll leave other editorials about how that can be corrected in societies to other people, but I'm happy to say that the feminine is alive and well and gaining her proper place in society. Mother Gaia, the planetary being.
I would like to add, so far as the inner light is concerned, that the male and the female principle are both equally important, and the input of the feminine is really so very important. It sometimes disturbs me when we have a question concerning femininity, and because it is so often, it seems to me that the feminine side is so forgotten in this masculine-orientated world of research and mysticism and everything else. And I was reminded of this when I was listening to a program on the radio when I was working, and I spoke to one of the ladies, and we were talking about it. And it seems that we owe the ladies such an apology. We owe them a great apology, for you only have to read the beginning of Genesis. Bara bereshith Elohim. Elohim is a feminine plural word, which we have translated as God, and we've called God He. But the God which we have translated actually is Elohim, which is feminine, and it's plural. And so I've often said to people, just reflect on this, because we always say that God is He. But no, go back and look at the first 3 words of Genesis, read it in the Hebrew, and you'll find it, in fact, it ain't so. And so the masculine side needs to pay the female side a great apology. It is probably the more, not probably, it's how terribly rude. It is the more important.
So, any more questions? If there being none. David Tomlin, you said that 80% of our work should be involving in meditation and prayer. Would anyone in the panel like to lead us in either a short meditation or a prayer at this time? Okay. So if I could have everyone be up and standing and meet us on what we call the floor or the level. Yeah.
Actually, you're far better off if you're just sitting down.
Oh, okay. I better sit down. Oh.
We will just start with the general invitation, which is one that Warren uses, and that is, let us gather together. Let us form a vessel to catch the dew of heaven. Let us rise up and go to that holy place of meeting. There gather with the companions of the light. Hear this. Malkut, Yesod, Hod Netzer Tiferet, Gevurah Hesed, Benah Chochmah Keter, Lord. Thou art the living Almighty. Thou art Yahweh Elohim, the Holy One. Thou art, I am. If it be thy will, let thy presence descend on us this afternoon, that we may know thy presence. Shut your eyes, and I'd like you to just feel what I will suggest to you. You are...
The food is ready. Those who have paid may go and eat. Those who have not paid had better see the Reverend Tarnowski.
Okay, there you go. Okay. So I'll give this back to you. Yeah. Okay.
I'd like to thank our participants in this question and answer forum, and I'd like to thank all the people who asked questions. There were some good questions here, and I'd like to thank you all for coming. So we're going to go downstairs and have a meal and have some wine, and there will be a couple of toasts and responses to the toast. So there'll be a bit more information downstairs. So you're all welcome to come and join us for food. It's being catered by the Curry Twist, which is one of the best curry restaurants in the city, and the cost is $20 a head, which includes wine. So if you care to go downstairs, we look forward to meeting you down below. Let me get it.
Okay.